So we exist to bring education to young people who need it. So the whole point is to utilise the virtual space to help young people who are unable to get into the classroom to still be able to continue with their learning. So when somebody's been out of the classroom for sort of 18 months, any information you have about that young person is out of date, especially if they've been through extreme trauma. And so I guess a lot of it is about trying to find the right individual approach for them. We've really had to look at how do we facilitate a lot of feedback and a lot of interaction.
My role as an English teacher is to design an online curriculum. I think that iPad is the best tool for online teaching because it's almost kinesthetic in the way that the children learn on the iPad. They are doing, rather than just sitting back and receiving a lecture. With the use of the pen, for example, if they move out of online education and they have to sit their English exam on paper, might be that they have the practice using the pen on the iPad.
We make music on GarageBand, so they have their iPads and they're producing on GarageBand. I'm demonstrating on GarageBand as well. So for example, playing the keyboard is great because they can use the touchscreen to do so. Explain Everything and Showbie are also on there, and it's really easy to switch between those apps in order to look at their plan, review their plan, but then also upload to Showbie and share with us and communicate with us and the rest of the group as well.
So we are in the really unique experience of having tried this without the iPads and it just wasn't working for us. If you can't sort of say, right, open this app, it's here on your screen, or you need to stop doing that now and move across to this and have some control over that, it just becomes impossible.
To keep students motivated, I use a lot of praise. So verbal praise, where the children can see me over the camera, but also praise that the students can interact with.
I can decide that this student really needs to do a little bit more work on negative numbers before they can move on to substitution, but this student's ready to move on to the next piece of work. So I just make it so that they're seeing different worksheets and that that's what they're doing.
And they can add things to a portfolio, so their best work can go into their portfolio. And termly, we would go into that portfolio just to reflect on how well the students have done and how far they've come.
The students respond to using Apple products really well. A lot of them are used to it because they've all got iPhones and so on, so they seem to pick it up quite quickly, which is great. It's industry standard, being Apple, which is what the majority of the musicians in the industry use, and the creative industry. It's portable, which allows us to reach young people in different areas or teach when we're on the move as well.
So the iPad allows us to have a unified system, a uniform system, where everyone is tapping into the same experience. And that is absolutely crucial to making it work. And that's really where Jigsaw 24 came in, was me sort of looking around and trying to find out, how am I going to do things like AFL in an online space? How do I make sure that they're listening, that they understand, that they can do the work, and that I can give them really quick feedback? So that was when I kind of sat down and looked at the technology available. And fortunately, I found Jigsaw 24 who were able to kind of hold my hand through the process.
One particular student who's now transitioned into mainstream education, when they first started with us, complete school refuser, afraid to read aloud, very little confidence in themselves. By the end of their time with us, typed a 2-page story. Him being able to write an extended story wouldn't be possible without the iPad, and he now writes stories for pleasure. So that's really exciting. The other thing is, like, when we're working with these young people, they maybe haven't had a great experience of education in the past. The moment where we say, welcome to Chiron OEP, and they receive a box, and that box has an iPad and a pencil and a calculator in the box for them to use, that's really exciting. And it says, we care about you and your education, and we're creating a system to bring you closer to us. You know, having that Apple symbol that they recognise and they know and they respect really, really helps. And we're grateful to Jigsaw 24 for helping us to kind of find the answer there. We are working with a fully managed system through Jigsaw 24, so we make sure that all of the apps we check through our own systems, that they are GDPR compliant, that students are not accessing or sharing information on those apps that wouldn't be appropriate. We also have Securely, obviously, which just allows us to kind of monitor all of the activity on the different devices and make sure that everybody is accessing filtered internet. Because it has been so clearly set up for education,
They can't just download whatever apps they want. They really do start using it in an appropriate way. And when they do play with it, they tend to play within the realms of what we've set up. So they're learning to code with Swift Playground, or they are, designing their newest track on GarageBand.
One particular student managed to write all the lyrics, we tweaked them together, we recorded them, which also led to some really great conversations about working in the industry. And he's gone back into school, and one of the key things about being back in school was that he had access to the music room there, so he could continue on his music journey, which is really lovely.
Whatever the starting point, we want to build towards an end point of a GCSE or a level 2 qualification that will get you into a level 3 course. Often we learn this is the person who can learn and wants to learn and does want to do better for themselves. It's just they've not really found the right way of learning for them yet. In the long term, our vision, our mission is all around utilising the virtual space to get students back to education, get students back into their learning through repairing their relationship with educators and education.